What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about OSCR Health, go over some of the data points, latest and updates, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So right now it is up 2.69%, recovering fairly well from the low of 1441, which did occur first thing. 1554 is right now the high and somewhat low volume, but it's not just with OSCR Health. It's pretty much the majority of the market is having lower volume. And that's just because of institutions not really satisfied with the data that did come out. CPI, so month over month, came in flat at 0.3. Year over year came in a little bit hotter than anticipated. So this is kind of popping the optimism for an earlier cut. Rather, what the Fed's been saying, a lot of Fed speakers, higher for longer. This does somewhat confirm that. So it's rather unfortunate, but nonetheless though, OSCR Health is really moving higher. And one thing did come out, not official news, no SEC filings from them today, but one thing did come out, and that was a new analyst rating. It is honestly rather comical at this stage. I don't know why, if maybe there's a certain quota that needs to be had, but there was another downgrade. So we did have one on the 11th, as well as most recently today by Jonathan Young from UBS, downgrade, sell, and $11 price target. So this is following, you did have right here Wells Fargo and Barclays all giving really negative ratings. So $10, $17. So based on today's, that does represent a 26.37% upside. And what is really comical is that nothing really from the company standpoint has changed. So even if we look at a lot of their recent ratings on OSCR Health, which there hasn't been any recent ones, I guess August 9th, 2023 was the last one when they did give a buy rating, $9 price target. At the time it was $7.39, so representing a 15% upside. And prior to that, it looks like they did one in May of 2023. So it's been a while, but at the end of the day, them to anticipate this significant of a pullback is rather crazy if you ask me. I actually do feel like we have hit somewhat of a bottom. So in my last video, I did go over some of my recent transactions. So I did, and I'm the proud recipient of more shares. So I have roughly 2,200 right now because I did sell puts, and that's actually what I have right now. So I have 10 more puts expiring August 1st, 2025, $15 strike price, and then a couple expiring this Friday. Most likely those will expire worthless in my opinion, but still nothing really wrong with that. Free $50 or whatever else. But at the end of the day, I really do believe in OSCR Health, and I did post this on my Patreon when this was at that 1450 range. I said that I do feel that we are at the bottom, and that potentially from here on out it will only be moving higher and most likely retesting that $19 range. So if you're curious on a lot of buy signals such as OSCR Health and a lot of other stocks, pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. But I'm definitely putting my money where my mouth is. I am in a little bit of a red right now, so down $418, but bigger picture, this is going to be 20 plus, so I'm not really worried about the short-term kind of pains. But aside from all of that fun stuff, though, there hasn't been all that much in news from the company, so it's just been kind of reacting to the broader market. When it comes down to shorts, so time of doing this video, they are returning 202,000 shares. 22.02% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 45.4 million shares. So a lot of people love to chase squeeze stocks. And I feel like at the same time, a lot of people will be catching on to this over the next couple of trading days and really starting to bring up how shorts went from about 14% short interest to where it did now in the span of almost just shy of 2 weeks. So yeah, definitely shorts have doubled down, piggybacked off of a lot of the negative analyst ratings. So I think once it does get back to that $16, $17 range, then this is where you will see shorts naturally start to mitigate risk. So I'm not much of that GameStop type of like, hey, let's wear a tinfoil hat, mother of all short squeeze type of person. But generally shorts have really overextended themselves and doubled down. So it is fair to assume that shorts will be returning. Aside from that, looking at the options, 7.32 million in calls, 2.67 in puts, 44% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So that's a nice change of events from what has happened over the last couple trading days. So definitely welcome to see. From the bull standpoint, there is a consensus for it to be above that 1650 for this week. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $14. So with it where it is now, somewhat evenly divided based on kind of the up and down. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. Very popular exchange. So this is where a lot of shorts like to hide some of their transactions. So very popular stuff. A couple big ones as well. So 2.2 million, and that seems to be the only one over 1 million for today. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So only one did happen during the pre-market, and it was a sell and for 104,000. So most likely this institution was reacting to that analyst rating. But all in all, big money is definitely getting in. So it's good to see. With it right now at 15.29, it is trading right now between these 2 points. So this S1 and S2, 13.57 is going to be a strong support. 15.75 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So ideally, best case scenario, you will watch for it to close above that 15.75 by tomorrow, so by Wednesday, and then that way you'll be able to easily see that $19 range, which I do see best case scenario playing out. Just you might have more volatility, maybe one or two more negative ratings or downgrades. Doesn't logically make sense, but for those of you that do believe in Oscar Health, just accept the negative ratings. It just gives you cheaper shares. And I wish I would have been on the ball and actually paid attention first thing this morning, because it did have a low of 14.41. I would have easily bought more shares, averaged down, because that would have been a screaming buying opportunity. So if you did buy today, give yourself a shout out in the comments. Aside from all that fun stuff, no real articles coming out on the actual chart itself. It is below currently the ALMA and 50 and 200-day moving average. So right now it is above that 100-day moving average. So that's going to be relatively good support, and that's sitting at 14.87. So a couple of points to watch for. 15.45 is that 200-day moving average. 15 is at that 16.20, so that 50-day moving average. And given basically what has happened with it recently, it is considered very oversold. So that could really stand to benefit it going in the foreseeable future. So let me know your thoughts on Oscar Health. Are you like myself? You believe in it? Have you been selling covered calls? I did get a couple comments on what I'm doing with Oscar Health, whether I'm selling covered calls. If you do believe in a stock that is going to really push higher in a short time frame, it's sometimes best to not sell covered calls, because that way you don't lose your shares or whatever else. You do whatever floats your boat, though. Don't listen to me. I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but in my opinion, I'm going to wait up until most likely the $17 range to even consider start selling covered calls. But up until that point, I'm still going to be selling either weekly or monthly puts, and then that way I can accumulate more and more shares. So once I get to that $17 range, it'll be easy money. So I'll be kind of guaranteed a certain profit, and everyone's going to be happy. So let me know your thoughts on Oscar Health. What are you doing? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And like I said, pop over to my Patreon. I give a lot of good buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Many of them have gone up like 2x, 3x just over the last couple of weeks, despite the crazy volatility that we've had. So worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.